There are reports of an incident in Dongguan, Guangdong province. On May 31st, an electric vehicle caught fire and exploded while burning. On May 24th, a video showed by a user shows a car that looks like a BYD electric vehicle catching fire in a residential area. The residents were understandably scared and anxious. China's development and popularization of electric vehicles has been rapid, but safety issues and overproduction have become increasingly apparent. On one hand, frequent fires and self-ignition incidents have sparked widespread concerns about the safety of electric vehicles. On the other hand, the industry is experiencing severe overcapacity, with production far exceeding market demand. On June 7th, at the China Automotive Chongqing Forum, Geely's chairman, Li Shufu, mentioned that due to overcapacity, Geely has decided not to build new car manufacturing plants. He also criticized the current car industry for relying on boasting to compete.
到今天为止，中国汽车工业的赛场
As of today, the main arena for China's automobile industry is still domestic. Although there are exports, they make up a very small portion, and the primary export markets are quite interesting countries. The competition within the domestic market is also quite intriguing. Some automotive companies' competition methods are hard to talk about. The growth and development of car companies follow their own rules. They must continually lay a solid foundation and hone their internal strengths. They must uphold tradition and promote the charm of excellent corporate culture, avoid using shortcuts, not take easy paths, and remember that the automotive industry doesn't fall from the sky. No amount of boasting can create a car industry that truly withstands market testing and user satisfaction.
At the same forum, Yu Chengdong, executive director of Huawei Technologies and chairman of its terminal BG, made similar remarks. On the afternoon of May 31st, he stated that many car products on the market have quality and safety issues. He even noted that some models don't meet basic standards and are still being mass-produced and shipped. Yu Chengdong sarcastically pointed out that despite Huawei leading in product quality, user experience, and performance, their sales were still outdone by these low-standard products, and even the competitors' smallest sales figures surpassed theirs. He further called for the industry to stop boasting, severely criticizing some companies for hyping their products without regard for user safety. Although he did not name any companies, it was widely interpreted as a criticism of Xiaomi. Interestingly, Yu Chengdong himself is known in the industry for his bold remarks, earning him the nickname Big Mouth Yu. It seems rather ironic that he is now calling for the industry to stop boasting. Xiaomi Group President Liu Weibing quickly responded on Weibo, saying that the strong sales of the Xiaomi SU7 and the attention on the YU7 are built on the foundation of strong product capabilities. He also quoted a famous saying by author Mo Yan, "Slander is, in itself, a form of looking up." Soon after, Xiaomi founder Lei Jun also posted in support, revealing the delivery data for the SU7 in May and plans for mass production of the YU7. He also quoted the same saying by Mo Yan. However, not long afterward, he quietly modified his post, removing the provocative phrase and only keeping the product images and brief information. On June 2nd, Lei Jun posted again, saying, "I believe that later comers will always have a chance." The accompanying image hinted later comers may not be perfect at first, and they will always face mockery and doubt, but they will always have a chance. On one side, there was Geely chairman Li Shufu's introspective speech, while on the other, Huawei and Xiaomi were embroiled in a new round of confrontation, once again bringing the underlying rivalry between electric vehicle companies into the spotlight. This war of words between Huawei and Xiaomi quickly sparked heated discussions online. Automotive blogger Xiaomi Budian and other prominent web influencers commented, "Huawei and Xiaomi are at it again. Who do you stand with in this battle?" In response, netizens left comments such as, "Wouldn't a quote you wrote yourself be more convincing? If you're capable, show us real product power." Neither Big Mouth Yu nor Liu Weibing should mock each other. In the end, it's just marketing talk. Some others remarked, "I'm just watching the show, not taking sides. Both companies are squeezing the traffic tightly, and they don't need anyone's support anymore. The topic itself is already generating buzz." Looking at this verbal duel between Huawei and Xiaomi, the so-called technical discussion has long been replaced by a battle for attention and control over narrative. On the surface, it's a competition of quality and strength, but in reality, it's just another form of internal competition. Before the Chinese electric vehicle industry establishes high standards and strong regulation, relying on shouting matches and battle of words to gain attention will only intensify the public's distrust. Some netizens believe that the true competition should not be limited to words thrown at press conferences or catchy phrases on Weibo. Instead, it should be reflected in product quality, technological innovation, and user safety. Overhyped marketing not only exhausts consumers, but also plunges the entire industry into restlessness and vanity. This kind of internal competition is not beneficial for companies in the long run. Recently, Chinese electric vehicle company Li Auto released its first quarter financial report for 2025. The average net profit per vehicle plummeted from 17,800 yuan in 2023 to less than 7,000 yuan, a drop of over 60%. This decline is attributed to the price war and product structure adjustments, which led to a sharp reduction in profit. The financial report was released on the evening of May 29th, nearly 3 weeks later than last year's report. The delay drew market attention. The report showed that the company's net profit for the first quarter was 646 million yuan, a 9.4% year-on-year increase. Deliveries totaled 93,000 vehicles, up 16%. However, the steep drop in profit per vehicle reveals a decline in the quality of profits behind the sales growth. Changjiang Securities pointed out that the increase in Li Auto's profits was mainly due to the rising sales of its mid to low-priced L6 model and significant promotional discounts. However, this also led to a decrease in the average selling price of its electric vehicles, which has dropped to 266,000 yuan, a 36,000 yuan decrease compared to the previous year. The industry generally believes that the price war that erupted in the second half of 2022 is one of the main reasons for Li Auto's sharp profit decline. The unusual delay in releasing the financial report is also seen by investment bankers as a sign that the company may be facing internal operational pressures. Additionally, XPeng Motors has also released its unaudited financial results for the first quarter of 2025. Despite leading in sales among new forces, the company still struggles with continued losses. The financial report shows that XPeng achieved a revenue of 15.8 billion yuan, a year-on-year increase of 141.5%, but a 1.8% decline compared to the previous quarter. The net loss was 660 million yuan, a significant reduction compared to the 1.37 billion yuan loss in the same period in 2024. In terms of sales, XPeng delivered 94,000 new cars in the first quarter, surpassing NIO, Li Auto, and Leap Motor, making it the sales leader among the 4 new forces in the industry. However, despite the impressive deliveries, XPeng's profit pressures remain unresolved. According to Wind Financial Terminal data, since its listing in 2018, XPeng has yet to achieve annual profitability, and as of 2024, it has accumulated a loss of nearly 38 billion yuan. Other new force car makers have shown similar struggles. Leap Motor posted a net loss of 130 million yuan in the first quarter of 2025, a significant improvement from the 1 billion yuan loss in the same period last year. However, for the entire year of 2024, the company still lost 2.8 billion yuan, and the industry as a whole is facing severe challenges. Meanwhile, NIO reported a net loss of 22.4 billion yuan for the whole of 2024. Since 2018, the company's cumulative loss has exceeded 95.6 billion yuan, making it one of the most money-burning companies among the new forces. A Goldman Sachs research report shows that in 2023, China's electric vehicle production capacity reached 2.1 times domestic demand and 1.2 times global demand, but the overall capacity utilization rate was only 54%. The severe overcapacity has intensified market competition, further driving the industry into a vicious cycle of price wars. This has led to 2025 being widely seen as a key year for the industry's elimination round. XPeng Motors chairman He Xiaopeng predicts that starting from early 2025, the price war will intensify, and industry reshuffling will become even more brutal. Even industry leaders will struggle to avoid the fallout. BYD stock price has dropped over 17% in the past week, reflecting market anxiety and concern about the future of the entire industry. Currently, the competition in China's electric vehicle market is rapidly entering a highly intense stage. According to data from the Passenger Car Association, the average price drop for electric vehicles in 2024 reached 9.2%, and the price war is still going on. On June 2nd, BYD launched a fierce price war. It announced a limited-time one-price discount for 22 of its electric and plug-in hybrid models, with discounts of up to 34%. The sale lasts until the end of June. Among these, the entry-level Seagull model saw its price drop from 69,800 yuan to 55,800 yuan, a decrease of about 20%. Meanwhile, the high-end Seal dual-motor version saw its price plummet from 155,800 yuan to 102,800 yuan, a 34% discount. Some netizens even reported that the actual price of some vehicles is even lower than this.
兄弟们最新消息啊！
Last year, the BYD Qin, which is over 140,000 yuan in the first half of the year, dropped to 79,800 yuan in the second half. Just over a month ago, the price of the BYD Qin dropped to the 50,000 range, and now the new car is priced at 39,800 yuan, which is the same price as a used car. Some say it's fake news, but others sent me inside information telling me how to get a BYD Qin Plus for 39,800 yuan. First, you need a scrapped car. Then you get 20,000 yuan from the national subsidy, 5,000 yuan from the trade-in subsidies, and a 10,000 yuan discount. Plus another 5,000 yuan in installment discount. That's 79,800 yuan minus 20,000 yuan minus 10,000 yuan minus 5,000 yuan and another 5,000 yuan off, which brings it down to 39,800 yuan.
BYD's delivery volume reached 382,000 vehicles in May, setting a new high for monthly deliveries in 2025. However, the year-on-year growth was only 15%, nearly the lowest since August 2020. In addition, the price of the Xiaomi SU7 was adjusted in June 2025. The standard version, originally priced at 215,900 yuan, now sells for 178,300 yuan after subsidies. Li Auto also launched a price promotion. The price of the Li Auto Mega dropped from around 560,000 yuan to around 530,000 yuan, a 30,000 yuan decrease. Prices for all models of Li Auto's L7, L8, and L9 series were reduced by 18,000 to 20,000 yuan. Victor Sun, a senior analyst at Morningstar, told CNBC, "We expect BYD's vehicle margin would be under pressure in the short term, as I think this move by them is driven by the need to hit their sales targets." He further pointed out that discounts in the first quarter of 2025 were still high, and in the ongoing price war, the overall profitability of the industry is unlikely to improve in the short term. This volatility has affected BYD's sales network. Gancheng Holdings, once a major BYD dealer in Shandong, with annual revenues of 3 billion yuan and 1,200 employees, has seen several of its stores close down, leaving many customers in a difficult situation. In this environment of economic downturn and rising competition, BYD has no choice but to use price advantages to maintain market share. This price war also poses a challenge to German car makers, with brands like Volkswagen, Mercedes-Benz, and BMW refusing to significantly cut prices. Their sales in China have continued to decline. The financial website Bazinga cited Gary Black, a partner at Future Fund LLC. Black stated that BYD's pricing strategy has become a direct threat to Tesla. The Financial Times analyzed that this round of price wars poses a double blow to small and medium-sized car companies. They not only face shrinking profits, but also risk further loss of their already limited market share. In response, Morgan Stanley analyst Tim Xiao warned that this new pricing strategy could lead to a prolonged price war, with the ripple effects potentially lasting until the second half of this year. Bloomberg industry research analyst Joanna Chen noted that other brands will either be forced to follow suit and lower their prices or lose market share. Great Wall Motors chairman Wei Jianjun mentioned that some companies might transfer unsold cars to financial institutions and second-hand dealers, then falsely report them as sales to inflate market performance. While the legality of this practice remains unclear, it reveals a weakening consumer demand for electric vehicles. Wei also admitted that the long-term price wars in China are making the entire automotive industry unsustainable. So why do these well-known automakers continue to intensify the price war despite knowing the results? Some netizens have uncovered the reasons behind this. One car expert said,
"Folks,
the truth behind the electric vehicle price war has been uncovered. It's rumored that the procurement price for a 100 kilowatt-hour battery from CATL has dropped below 30,000 yuan. While I can't say for sure that the price is this low, the fact that the lithium carbonate prices have fallen from 600,000 yuan per ton to 40,000 yuan is certain. This price has been slashed to 1/6 of what it was 3 years ago. The battery, the most expensive component of electric cars, has seen its costs cut drastically. No wonder BYD took the lead in triggering the price war. Electric vehicle costs are plummeting. If they don't drop prices to clear stock, they'll definitely face heavy losses in 2 months. Car manufacturers are in a frenzy, one cutting 10,000 yuan, another cutting 30,000 yuan. It's an even bigger sale than 011. But folks, don't rush to buy electric vehicles just yet. The price of batteries is still falling, and who knows how low car prices might drop in 2 months. It would be a huge loss to spend your hard-earned money now. Another netizen mentioned that the surge in sales of gasoline vehicles is largely due to the high maintenance costs of electric vehicles.
今年的车市大反转了。从今年1月份起
This year, the car market has taken a huge turn. Since January, sales of gasoline cars have surged by 9%. But what about electric vehicles? They've plummeted by 9%. What's causing more and more people to give up electric cars and go back to gasoline? The people who once claimed electric cars save money and that gasoline cars should be eliminated, where are they now? When you calculate it carefully, you'll find that the myth of electric cars saving money is actually just a trick. For example, it's said that electric cars only cost between 0.2 and 0.3 yuan per kilometer in electricity, but the insurance for an electric car is 2 to 3 times more expensive than a gasoline car. Insurance for a 200,000 yuan electric car costs over 8,000 yuan, while for a gasoline car it only costs around 3,000 yuan. Even worse, if the electric car's undercarriage hits the ground, replacing the battery pack can cost about 100,000 yuan, which is enough to buy a new car. The key issue is the battery. It not only loses charge over time, but also naturally deteriorates even if it's not used. Unless you're really wealthy and treat the electric car like a toy, for an average family, buying a gasoline car is definitely a more reliable choice. The surge in sales of gasoline cars is partly due to price cuts and promotions, spurred by electric vehicles taking over the market. Additionally, the market for electric vehicles is still largely concentrated in major cities, with public charging infrastructure in 3rd, 4th, and 5th tier cities still not fully developed. In rural areas, electric vehicles are almost impossible to charge, so people in these areas are more likely to consider gasoline cars. Furthermore, some netizens have uncovered news that the Chinese government is about to cancel subsidies for the electric vehicle industry, which has caused considerable pressure on many car companies. According to an interpretation of a policy released by the China Automotive Industry Association on June 3rd, the National Vehicle Trade-in Subsidy Program, originally set to end at the end of 2025, will be terminated in certain regions ahead of schedule. The regions listed include Suzhou District in Gansu, Zhengjiang in Jiangsu, Yangzhou in Jiangsu, Foshan in Guangdong, and Yingkou in Liaoning. The policy details explain that the trade-in subsidy funds are running out, interest-free installment promotions from banks will be suspended, provincial-level subsidies will be phased out, and there will be news of vehicle purchase taxes starting in 2026. It's important to note that in the financial reports of the aforementioned car companies, some seemingly acceptable data is largely due to these subsidies. They not only helped companies reduce loss pressure, but also significantly stimulated consumer purchasing intentions. While it's still unclear whether these reports are entirely accurate, it's certain that once these subsidies are cancelled, these car companies' financial reports will no longer look as good. Initially, under the strong push of the Chinese government's new energy strategy, a large number of companies flooded into the market, fighting for subsidies, financing, and policy benefits. This has forced manufacturers chasing short-term profits and market share to cut costs, shorten research and development cycles, and even sacrifice product safety and durability. Issues like subpar batteries, poor wiring, and materials being cheapened have frequently surfaced, exposing serious safety standards in these vehicles. Some small and medium-sized enterprises rely solely on low prices to capture market share, leaving them powerless to ensure quality control and after-sales service. It can be said that these subsidy policies from the Chinese government are the real reasons behind the low-quality products, the internal competition, and losses within car companies. At the end, consumers are the ones stuck holding the bag. On the surface, electric vehicles may seem to represent the halo of Chinese manufacturing, but in reality, under the administration's leadership, this industry has already formed a distorted ecosystem, quietly planting numerous time bombs that threaten public safety.